Yeah, he's on 4 or 5 magazines, isn't he?
Yeah, 4 that I know of, but
Yeah.
there could in fact be some more. Great. Hi, Paul.
How you doing?
I'd like to first start off with your involvement in the picture and how you came to it. It was sort of an Arnold's court, and Arnold, in fact.
Yeah, I think what happened. This project was along for since I think about 10 years, isn't it? I mean, and several directors were involved. Several companies were involved, several actors were involved, but Patrick Swayze was involved, Richard Dreyfuss. It never got made till Arnold suddenly got a grip on the script and convinced Karolko to buy it. And from the moment that Arnold said, I want to do it, it was made. Now Arnold probably together with Karolko decided, decided that I would be a good choice. So I was invited to a meeting or a dinner, and they said, this is the script, this is Arnold, you want to do it.
Why you? What did they feel that you could bring to the motion?
Probably they thought the script has 2 levels, in fact, isn't it? It's an action, it's a big science fiction action movie, but it has also something else. It's about something about the mind or your sense of reality. Is what we are living in, is this real, or are we the dream of somebody else? Yeah, are we God's dream, or are we really in complete reality? That aspect is there a little bit, and I think they thought that, or the European background, or RoboCop, convinced them that I could hit that level too. That I would do all the action and the science fiction well, but I could also give it another touch that would make the film not empty. I don't think it's an empty film.
So you figure RoboCop pretty much prepared you for this
Yes.
picture. It was a natural...
I felt so, because RoboCop has in fact a little bit the same situation. You have an action movie, but still I think people have always felt that there was something else in RoboCop. There's a kind of a soul in RoboCop, isn't it? And when he goes back to his house, and for me RoboCop always meant the search for lost paradise a little bit, which is of course his life before he became a robot. It's his paradise, but he cannot go back there anymore because he's a robot now.
Is the reason that I'm just going to ask about the sequel to RoboCop, the reason you didn't direct that is because you're working on Total Recall?
No, I decided not to work on RoboCop before I got Total Recall.
One was enough for you?
Yes, I felt that I wouldn't be inspired enough to do the sequel. It's tough work making these action science fiction movies, and if you know exactly what kind of torture you have to go through making these kind of movies, you are really hesitant because it's so difficult. And Total Recall turned out to be much more excruciating than RoboCop, but when I started Total Recall, I didn't know that. And so I felt much more free, and yeah, that was the only reason. I just thought that having done RoboCop 1, I would not be the best choice to do it again. Perhaps RoboCop 3 or 4, but not immediately the next one. I thought that would also be, from a creative point, would be really bad. Because it's just, it's repeating yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, with this picture, we'll go back to Total Recall now. The producers, the studio, handed you a rather large budget. Now, the numbers are being bantered around between 50 and 60 million, but
yeah,
the picture looks expensive.
What?
The picture looks very expensive and rich.
Right.
Your take on the future, how did you decide what the future was going to in fact look like, and where did you draw from?
There were 2 elements, in fact. We were forced by the production company to work in Mexico City. I want to shoot a movie mostly for the 2 parts in the movie. There's the Earth part and the planet Mars part. And I wanted to shoot the Earth part in Houston. They shot, in fact, RoboCop 2 now in Houston. And somehow, for financial reasons, we had to go to Mexico City. And there, Mexico City is not a futuristic city like Houston, but I found a style of architecture there called New Brutalism, which is extremely kind of futuristic, very bold, strong, concrete stuff in a kind of an Aztec style that looks different. And so we just stumbled on that, and there are several buildings like that, and we said, okay, everything what in this film is Earth will be these kind of buildings, so that would be the style. And for the Martian part, we inspired ourselves on the drawings of NASA. NASA is preparing, of course, settlements on the Moon and Mars, and they have a certain vision how to do that. And somehow we picked out these things that looked the most appropriate for the movie and extrapolated that, made them bigger and different. But it was based, I mean, the situation on Mars, there's no atmosphere, so there is dangerous radiation. So you cannot build on the surface. So we built in the canyons. And all the houses and the hotels and everything are hanging on the canyon walls, which is, in fact, one of the plans that NASA has to protect the astronauts from radiation.
That's interesting. It's almost like science fact then.
It is a bit, yeah.
Now, as far as the gadgets and all that stuff, the hardware was concerned, who conceptualized a lot of that?
You mean the mutants and
yeah,
stuff?
the mutants and some of the gadgets in the video, this and...
Some of them, well, it's all special effects, of course, but some of them were really precisely in the script. This new trick where you can change your fingernails with a touch in a different color. It's kind of cute. That was just written in the script. Then, of course, you have to find a way to do that. That's the people the special effect people giving you these answers and doing that for you. And then these mutants, people growing out of each other, that was done by Rob Bottin. I mean, the people that they give you really a lot of ideas. They give you even parts of the plot. For example, the gag in the middle where Arnold is inside somebody else was mostly invented, even as a story point, by Rob Bottin.
Describe your acting. I'm going to call it acting, but your directing technique. You're very animated director, aren't you? How would you describe yourself?
Well, I'm really in the middle of the people. I mean, when there is something happening, I'm there. I mean, I fight with them to show what should be done. If necessary, I kiss them. I'll throw them on the ground, fall on the ground myself. When there's a scene in the mud, I will be in the mud together with the actors. I want to be there because I feel if you're there, they will perform better. So I'm physically very involved, and I like actors. And I understand what they're going through, even if it's very unpleasant. I will never ask an actor to do something dangerous, what I'm afraid of myself. But if I can do it myself, I'll try to convince them to do it too. For example, you have these bullet hits that you have nowadays on somebody's head, and you have a little explosion on your forehead, and it looks like a bullet gets into your head, which is used in the film. It's not new. But actors, of course, are a little bit hesitant, so I put it on my own head and say, blow it up, and they say, this is it. But that convinces them immediately because they see there is no danger, that I'm not frightened, and whatever I was.
Maybe you should become an actor.
What?
Maybe you should become an actor.
No, not at all. I don't feel, I mean, my acting is never acting. My acting is giving information, but not really. I have not the ability to go inside the character. That's what acting is. You go inside and then you build up. I'm only on the outside.
Great. They're giving me the wrap sign. It was a pleasant chatting with you.
Good.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.